Howdy, folks. The beginning of your story stinks, and I'm going to help you with that. My name is Lottie Loera. I'm a storytelling teacher and coach in Austin, Texas. I run a storytelling school called the Storytellers Studio and a couple of shows here, Testify and the Austin Story Slam. And I love storytelling. So let's talk about it. The beginning of your story stinks. Why? Probably because you don't know how the beginning of a story is supposed to work. I'm going to give you a hint. There are two things that should be at the beginning of your story. What happened and how you feel about it. Just those two things. The beginning is arguably the most important part of your story. Without a good beginning, one that hooks your audience, they are not going to stick around through the middle of your story, and they are never going to make it to the end of your story. They'll never care. They don't understand anything you're talking about, and they don't want to. They get bored. They'll start doom scrolling on their phone or coming up with a laundry list of chores they have for the next couple of weeks. Anything they're doing, they are not paying attention to your story because the beginning did not get their attention. The beginning has to hook your audience. It has to hook them and give them a reason to stay. The beginning determines if people even want to hear another word out of you. And for the sake of this video, I am talking about true personal stories. Those are stories that are usually told live on stage at an event like the Moth or Risk or at our own show, Testify. And while the focus is on true personal stories, I want to be very clear that some of these ideas are transferable to other narrative storytelling forms like a screenplay or a novel or a short story. So what is a story? Well, a true personal story is one, it's true. Two, it is something authentic that happened to you. And three, it caused a change in you, in your life. Even a small change for just a short amount of time. What a story is not, it's not a motivational speech, it's not a political rant, and it's not an overblown TED Talk. The way I want you to think of your story is like a movie, but it's not a movie that you're watching. It's an oral movie. It's a movie that you're listening to. They did a study on people several years back where they put them in an MRI machine and they let them watch a short video and they watched which areas of their brain fire. They brought in another group of people, put them in the same MRI machines. They did not watch a video, but they had everything that happened in the video described to them. And what they found is the exact same areas of those brains light up. What they've come to believe is that's the function of the brain. The brain translates every word it hears into a picture, and it translates your story into a movie. Try this. Imagine a purple hippo in a pink tutu with a yellow birthday hat on, eating a vanilla ice cream cone. How hard was that for you to do? Not hard at all. Because that's what your brain does when it hears a word. It immediately creates the picture. The reason I use the hippo metaphor is because I want you to be aware that too many details at the beginning of your story will zap all the momentum out of your story. The human brain can remember 3 to 4 things at a time. So if you add too many details, too many elements to the beginning of your story, the first ones, the earlier ones, are going to be forgotten. You remember that hippo we were talking about? You were able to remember the 4 things, but say I kept going. Say I said she had a lime green eye patch that she wore that had golden studs all around the outside with a little mirror ball stuck right in the middle of it. And she had a pimple over her right cheek, and she had a mole on the other cheek with a hair growing out of it. And she had those little ribbons that she wore in her hair because she liked little pigtails. And even though her eyes were a brilliant blue, she had that thing that David Bowie had where one of her eyes is permanently dilated. Okay, I'm going to stop there because I'm getting lost in all the details I'm adding for you. I know that a person who is listening to this as a story is going to get lost just as fast. And here's the thing. The moment your audience gets lost, they're not going to work anymore. They're not going to try. They don't know what's happening. And you've proven to them that you don't care that they don't know what's happening because you're not telling them a story in a way that's easy for them to understand. So with this hippo, unless the dilated eye is actually part of the story we're telling, that's a detail we absolutely don't need to have. I have a story that I've told at events about my dog. Now, I also had 2 cats, but the cats aren't in the story. Why? Because they have nothing to do with the story. The story is about me and my dog. Now, don't feel bad for my cats. I have plenty of stories about my cats. But in this story with my dog, they would be a distraction. They would be something else for the audience to focus on because they think it's part of the story. But it's not part of the story. It's just extra words you threw out there for no good reason. So to streamline the story and make it easily understandable for the audience, the cats don't appear in my story. I have a friend. I'm not going to name her here. She lives in another state, and she has no concept of what a detail is. To her, all details carry the same weight. They're all important. They all must be spoken. If we are watching a show together, not together, she lives in another state, but a show that we watch and we talk about, and for the purpose of this, I'm going to pretend it's Ted Lasso. It will take my friend the length of all 3 Lord of the Rings movies, director's cuts, to explain to me what happened in one 24-minute episode of Ted Lasso. Because she does not know what's important and what is not important. It had that blonde actress, the one you like, she has that hair that she wears in the back all the time. We really like her a lot. She was wearing a blue dress, and the blue dress reminded me of a dress I wore to prom. You remember that dress? Remember Kent wore a blazer that matched my dress and everything? Everyone thought I came to the prom with Kent, which is weird because Kent came by himself. And she will go on and on like this, on endless tangents that have nothing to do with the story. And 5 minutes in, I am no longer listening to her. I am playing solitaire on my computer and just pretending that she's not talking at all. What I want you to get from this is that details do not specifically serve your story. They're going to ruin it. No details that are not part of the actual narrative. Every detail that you include at the beginning should help us understand who you are and why you're telling this story. It can maybe give us a hint of what's coming up, but save most of your details for later in the story. The beginning is not about the plot. The beginning really isn't even about the story. The beginning is all about you. The beginning is about why you are sharing this story with us, why this is important to you, and what this means to you. Another thing I'm hoping that you don't do in your story, and if you do, please stop. Don't tell us what the story is about. This is a story about when I was in the 7th grade and I beat up my bully in Mr. Altonlow's class. He had been bothering me for years, and I finally stood up for myself. Well, you told us the story. Why are we listening to the rest of this? I already know what's going to happen. So don't tell us the story, but bring us in. I'm scared. I'm standing at the front door of my biology class, and my bully is sitting right behind me, where he has always sat for years. That is a better beginning because it gives us a hint of what's to come, but not enough of a hint to where we know what's going to happen in this story. We just know the storyteller's frame of mind at the beginning, and that's what we want to understand. Now, I've told you to think of your story like a movie, but I want you to think of it as a very particular type of movie. I want you to think of your story as a mystery movie, where you don't tell everything up front. You don't start the story by telling us what the story is going to be about. You let those moments unravel and unfold for the audience as they happen in your story. Because you see, your audience doesn't just want to know the story. They want to feel it. They want to watch it as it unfolds when you paint these pictures with your words that they turn into movies in their heads. I want you to begin your story in a way that invites them into the story without telling them what's going to happen in the last page. So, what makes a good story beginning? 1, it's going to hook your audience. 2, it avoids detail overload. Please don't give us too many details. And 3, it grounds us in you, in the storyteller, because This is your story. Remember, the beginning is the most important part of your story. The beginning is the opening scene of your movie. There are still many, many more frames to come. And if this video helped you, please do me a favor. Find the like button and go down there and give it a boop. If there's anything you think I left out or anything you think needs clarification or other storytelling topics you'd like to talk about, you think they need a deeper dive, put them in the comments. Because like I said, I love talking about storytelling and I'd love to talk to you more. For now, that's it. Adios.